Hi there and welcome along. As you can see, January has arrived and finally there is some sun here in the UK, and it's time to get out and do some maintenance on your fruit trees. Now, please be rest assured there's going to be several videos coming at you in this particular series. They're all going to be quite short, they're all going to be quite easy to deal with, but I wanted to first film this little introduction for you to talk to you about why and how we prune fruit trees, and just to set your mind at rest with one or two things again. Now, the first thing to bear in mind is if you don't want to prune your fruit trees, you don't have to. There is no set rule with this. An apple and a pear, a plum, a nectarine will all grow and all fruit absolutely beautifully with no interaction from yourself whatsoever. If you wanted to leave your fruit trees alone, please feel free to do so. The only thing you're going to need to bear in mind is you do need to keep an eye on the actual shape of the plant and make sure that you're removing any of the 3Ds. This is really basic entry-level horticultural stuff. You want to be removing any wood that is diseased. If it's showing any signs of canker, any signs that the wood has been rubbing together, it's damaged in any way, that needs to be removed. You need to be removing the dead wood, any particular growth on the plant that is very evident that it has died, is left this mortal plane, and that needs to be completely removed as well. You also need to remove any wood that it is dying, and in another video with pear I'm going to show you a little bit of dying wood and what to look out for with pears. But if you've got any dead, diseased or dying, or any crossing wood, the last one is a C, the crossing wood needs to be removed, and you just need to maintain the actual shape of your plant itself. As with all plants and all pruning, the idea is to open up the center of the plant and allow lots of light and air and space into the plant. This allows air circulation and, more importantly, light into the crown. It can release an awful lot of the disease, pest and problems you're going to incur with any plant whatsoever, so you need to be paying special attention to the center of the plant and making sure you're opening that up. Now, I don't actually have any large fruit trees here in the garden. All of mine are actually espalier, like this one behind me, which is where the branches are trained into a horizontal position, very similar to a cordon, which is laid at a 45-degree angle. Many of you will have step over trees which are trained or fan trained, and the principle is exactly the same. If you've bought a fruit tree that's a similar size to this, the next tutorial is going to be for you. But if you have a freestanding fruit tree, the most important thing for you to do is maintain its shape, remove the dead, the diseased, the dying, and of course the crossing wood on a regular basis. Again, always paying special attention to the fact you need to keep your secateurs clean and sharp. Keep your bucket of disinfectant close to hand, or your rag, whatever it is you're cleaning with. Keep your WD-40 close to hand, and make sure that you're cleaning your secateurs very, very well between varieties and between specimens. So never cross-contaminating between them. It's very, very important on this particular, especially with apples and pears. You want to be looking out. I haven't got any growth to show you, which is really annoying. You're going to find it very frustrating. I'll expect some comments down in the comment section later. If you've allowed fruit, for instance, to sit on the plant and you haven't picked it or shaken it off to the ground, canker, which is a type of sort of tree cancer, can often get into apples and pears, and it's normally caused by either growth rubbing together from friction, or, as I say, from fruit sitting on top of the plant and rotting actually in the actual wood itself, and it brings in disease and it starts to rot. That kind of growth needs to be removed completely. But as I say, the trees behind me are in really, really good condition. Something else I'm going to go through them today with is just make sure and check that the wires I have in place to keep the branches in place are nice and loose. They're not too tight. They're supporting the plant, but they're not actually biting into the bark and damaging the bark itself. The next tutorial will be the other way around. Will be me actually pruning and talking you through the process. Very basically, one last thing to bear in mind: if you have actually bought a house, for instance, or moved into a property where it has a very old apple tree or pear tree that's got out of hand, you mustn't remove any more than 1/3 of the growth at any one time. So this is a long-term plan. There are tutorials from myself on YouTube, and you'll find them here on Instagram, of pruning large specimen apple trees and reducing the crown down, but you must make sure that you remove no more than 1/3 of the growth in one particular year. Otherwise, you're going to put the tree into shock and you may actually kill it. So approach with caution. If you've got a particular tree that's got lots and lots of wood on it and it's all unruly, you want to be setting yourself a 2, 3, 4 and 5 year plan to bring that tree back into the picture you've got in your head. You need to sort of envisage what you want it to look like and start your plan, whether that's removing the central growth first or bringing the crown in so it's much more manageable. But you should always start with the dead, the diseased, the crossing and the dying. Get those out first and then start working on your long-term plan after. So the next video is me going to be actually pruning with the camera the other way around, so please refer that. We're going to be doing apples and pears, which are very, very similar, so there won't be different videos for that, but I will touch base with a small video about pears in a minute, because I do have a pear in the garden with what we call fire blight, which is something I can show you. Anyway, if you have any queries or questions, please feel free to drop me a comment. I'm always here to help. And don't forget, this is your subscription-based content. So if there's a video you want me to cover, please do let me know. I'm also going to be doing tutorials for you on currants and on gooseberries over the next week or so as well. So lots of content still to come. I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.